Okay, so the long-awaited Spider-Man brand new day trailer just dropped on us today. Well, from your perspective, yesterday. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of Spider-Man, okay? I'm a bit of a Spider-Man hater, if you will. But I gotta admit, this trailer got me a little hype. Mind you, I had no hype going into this, okay? Again, I'm just not a big Spider-Man fan, that's it. I heard some rumors about the film, but I didn't really keep up with it too much. Not as much as I am with Doomsday, but I ain't gonna lie, this trailer looks so good that I might keep tabs on this film. Overall, I feel like the cinematography just looks better than it did from the last 3 movies. I mean, obviously, a good part of that is because we got a brand new director, Dustin Daniel Cretton. He did the Shang-Chi movie and the Wonder Man series, and that's one thing I didn't care about the last 3 movies. I just think the cinematography was just kind of like generic MCU schlop. I think the tone of this trailer is far better than in the last 3 movies. I mean, I don't doubt there'll be maybe some misplaced humor in this film, but I mean, I don't know, I'm just not getting the vibes. Like, I feel like the trailer isn't trying too hard to be jokey and quippy, unlike the last 3 movies. I just like the concept of there being like an older Peter Parker, one that's out of high school. I mean, that's just personal to me, because I can just relate that, because I just left high school not too long ago, so it makes the character a little bit more relatable to me, at least. I as well like the more kind of depressed, alone, and sad, and struggling Peter Parker. I mean, I don't know, it probably just goes into human nature. We like to see our heroes struggle. So, it's nice. It's nice to know that they're going to make Peter Parker struggle quite a bit in this movie. The one thing I really didn't expect going into this, though, is this whole, like, mutation thing going on. It seems like they're giving, like, organic webs, and I always thought that was a good idea for a Spider-Man. I never liked the idea of Spider-Man having to make his own webs. Listen, I know, I'm gonna get a lot of hate. As I said, I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan. People say, well, that's not how, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, intended for Spider-Man to be. But I don't know, why have a character named Spider-Man if you're not gonna give him, the main trait of a spider, which is a spider web, and he has to, I don't know, it don't make sense to me. Okay, I like that Toby had organic webs, I'm sorry. So I'm glad it seems like he's getting organic webs, but it also seems like there's some other stuff going on. I think they're trying to kickstart the mutant saga, and there's rumors, just rumors, that Jean Grey is going to be in this movie, which I mean would add up to some of the stuff that we've seen in this trailer. And if that's the case, I think that's pretty damn cool. I also like they're introducing mutants and mutations, and trying to kind of prime us to see the mutants in all their full glory in Doomsday. The thing that I was the happiest to see was that they're finally doing Scorpion. They had this teaser in the first movie for Scorpion, and they never cashed in on it. This shit was like 10 years ago. And you have an amazing actor that appeared in the post-credit scene. So I was always so frustrated that they never did Scorpion. However, that does lead me to a little bit of a concern with this film. And I mean, just by the looks of the trailer alone, I'm a little worried that this film seems to have just a lot going on. I'm a little worried about how the film's gonna juggle that, because right now we have Bruce Banner in this film, presumably the Hulk, based off of rumors. Again, I don't know that. You have the Punisher, rumored Jean Grey, this whole mutation thing going on, and Scorpion. That's a lot. That is a lot, and I'm not sure how they're gonna make all those pieces work. So I'm really hoping we're not kind of going into a Spider-Man 3, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 situation. We're just putting way too much into a plot that doesn't need to be put there. Also, it seems a little maybe less grounded than I would have hoped. Obviously the last 3 Spider-Man movies in the MCU were very superpowers and flashy things, except for Homecoming. Homecoming is relatively grounded. But I was really hoping that they really cement Spider-Man into like the street level hero. But I mean, if what I'm hearing is true, and if Hulk is present, and if Jean Grey is present in this film, it brings a very cosmic, fantastical element to this whole thing. I'm not sure if that's the right way to go. And with Bruce Banner in this film, I'm hoping Bruce Banner doesn't take up like a sort of mentor role for Spider-Man. The trailer doesn't make it seem like that at all. It's just a worry that I have, because you had the face of Marvel. Let's be real. Spider-Man is the face of Marvel, let's be real. Or at least the most popular Marvel character. And you kind of always had him in the shadow of Robert Downey's Iron Man. And don't get me wrong, I loved Iron Man. Probably my favorite MCU character, but it just never felt right. And I'm not even a big Spider-Man fan, so why should I care? But to me, that never really felt right. Like, fine, you know, the first few, okay. But the second one, like, being so heavily dependent on Spider-Man trying to succeed Tony Stark makes no sense to me. I didn't care for it. It just never seemed like that was the right relationship for them to have, if that makes any sense. I think it was cool that he was a mentor, but I don't like that they tried to put Spider-Man as like his successor in a sort of way. It would never sat right with me. And sure, Spider-Man 3, No Way Home, doesn't really have a lot to do with Tony Stark or anything, but then you switch out Tony Stark for the other two Spider-Man, and you still have the same problem. You know, he's always kind of like babied by other characters that we know and love. And I would really like to see him on his own. And I still think, you know, having the Hulk and the Punisher in this show really still, I don't want to say steals the spotlight, but I would just like a show where it's just Peter Parker doing Spider-Man things, and it's just its own self-contained thing, especially for the new, you know, his new chapter here. But again, not really complaining. I think this trailer was really good, and it definitely built interest in this show, in this movie for me. But anyway, I'm just going to keep my thoughts short and concise because I don't have too much to say. I'm just trying to bloat this video's runtime, I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, with that being said, thank y'all for watching. Peace.